I love people's drive for wanting to be an entrepreneur, but we know that the percentages of businesses that fail, I would never want to see anybody set up for failure. People are just not aware of the services.
Yeah.
As people become more aware of Adult Day and its benefits, it's going to grow. Everyone should do an Adult Day. They're amazing. Best thing I ever did.
What's going on, guys? Today we are at the 2022 NASDAQ conference, and I have a wonderful guest with me, Christina Vlosich. Did I say it right?
Yes,
I
perfect.
did. Oh my God, it's like my fourth time saying it. I thought I was gonna mess it up. But Christina is the principal consultant with ADS Consult, and she spoke yesterday on how to start an adult day center. And so today I wanted to spend some time with her because she had a wealth of information, over 3 hours of content, and you realize just how much stuff there really is to get started. But first, I'd love for you to share your story about how you got into Adult Day and what led you to that path, and then why you're doing what you're doing now. And I know we can cover a lot of stuff, but Christina, thank you for being here.
Sure. And thank you for this opportunity to share my experiences with your viewers. My background started in physical therapy. I started working in a nursing home when I was in high school, and it was a long time ago. I passed ice, made beds, and passed cigarettes. So believe it or not, they smoked, right?
They allowed that in nursing homes?
Yes, they did. And so, every hour on the hour. So I've been in healthcare for a very long time. I've been in the aging population. That's my favorite area to be in.
How old were you at the time?
I was 17, so maybe 10 years ago.
Wow. Love it.
Love it. Yeah, it's been a little longer than 10 years, but I was 17 years old. I started in healthcare, and I just.
But I think that's actually really rare, and for anyone that ever watches, like the fact that you were 17, 18, coming into the senior care world. Like, I feel like there's a very small percentage of the population that enters that world at that age. So that's awesome. I feel it's very honorable.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I worked as a nurse's aide. I went to school to get my physical therapy assistant degree, and learned a lot of things just as being an aide. And it is actually before they had STNA. So again, I'm dating myself. But I went to work at the facility that I was an STNA as a therapist, and we did outpatient, inpatient, short-term rehab, home care. And I just, over those years, again, loved that arena, but I also had an entrepreneurial spirit. So I knew there was some things that I wanted to do on my own. I left that part of healthcare and opened my medical supply company, which I had for about 7 years, and during that time opened a PT, OT, and speech staffing company.
She's a true entrepreneur. You got an idea and you run with it, so I love it.
I love it too, and sometimes I think my husband thinks I'm crazy, but it's okay. He's always there to support me, whether he's shaking his head or not. But he's a good guy. So I had those two companies, and then I sold my medical supply company, did the PTOT and speech staffing, and occasionally filled in as a clinician. And always looking for something to do.
What was your favorite part about the PTOT side of things?
Unfortunately, from when I started in that field to where it's at now, it has changed dramatically. And I've been in it long enough that you saw everything was patient care focused, and now it's about productivity.
Right.
You get therapists that they don't get to do what they went to school for because it's all about numbers and paperwork.
It's like get in, get out. We have 45 minutes. We got to fill out the paperwork. Let's go.
I know it is. It's sad, but I loved working with the patients. When you see somebody who comes in and you're able to improve their quality of life, and they can go home with their family, it gives you that fulfillment of you're doing something of value. So as a business owner, I'm thinking, you hear families saying, well, we're taking mom home, but she's, really not quite safe to be home alone all day, or, she's going home with my dad, and my dad, he's active, and now he's going to stay home with her, and, he's going to be overwhelmed, and I knew about adult days because as a therapist, we would contract and go in to them and provide therapies, and I'm thinking, we should do an adult day, right?
Why not?
Why not?
Everyone should do an adult day.
Everyone should do an adult day. They're amazing. Best thing I ever did. Of all the things, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
So, we started researching all the things that we needed to do for an adult day. We bought a building because my brother was also my business partner in the therapy company as well as the adult day. Rehabbed a building.
Now, at this point in time, did you know anyone in Adult Day? Had you spoken to anyone in Adult Day? No.
No, my first role, I came to NADSDA in St. Pete.
Did you? Oh, wow. Okay, that was 2017. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yep. I missed that one.
Yeah.
That was right before I started. But not to interrupt, but out of curiosity, so at the time that you went to that conference, did you have it? Had you started yet, or were you looking to start? Okay.
No, we had started.
Yeah.
And my background in DME, I also work as a field surveyor for a national company. So I go in and I inspect medical supply companies throughout the country.
Yep.
So I have learned how to go in and navigate and find state regulations regarding pretty much anything that I need when I do that in the DM. So I just started researching my state regs in Ohio and reaching out to the community and like our AAA and finding out like from them what information and things that they needed. I actually said we had 2 centers in my county, and I went to my AAA and said, what do you feel that that is missing that you guys would like to see?
Yeah.
And they just loved that. And so we worked with them as well, building that. So it took that information, the research information, and information we got at NADSDA, and just started building our business from that.
What do you think, like when you look back on it, like what was one of the hardest things about starting an adult day center?
For us, the hardest part was getting through that initial period to be certified through our waiver program to be on our Medicaid.
Yeah.
So in order to get any type of reimbursement, so in Ohio you don't have to be licensed, but if you want Medicaid reimbursement or any levy waiver programs, you have to go through their state accreditation process, which you have to see people for a certain length of time that have to be self-paying, then you have to apply, you have to wait for them to come, and so it goes into like 45 days, 45 days, 45 days.
And all the time you got operational overhead, electricity, utility bills,
all those things. And you have to have employees there, right? You can't say, well, when I'm accredited, I'm going to start bringing these employees in. They want to see it before they walk in the door.
It's pretty unique. I mean, are there a lot of states like that?
No.
Okay.
It's different.
Come on, Ohio, what the heck?
Yeah. Actually, we have a great program for our seniors there. We have levies.
Yeah, I actually just learned about that this morning. I had no idea that existed, but I was talking to a lady. Her name was Cheryl, and she is a part of an adult day center in Ohio. She was talking about how the levy works, where it subsidizes the private pay, I guess.
Right, and it's not based on income.
Yeah.
So, which is nice because those people who are above the poverty levels that can't apply for like those waiver programs, they can still get services through the levy.
Which is awesome. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It's really, I mean,
it's a fabulous
and
service.
I guess what they do is they tax, there's a small little tax on the county to do that, which is, I'm surprised that Florida or California or, some of these other states that have a higher percentage of elderly haven't done something like that.
Yes, it would be wonderful if everybody did, because, it would make, the aging population's life so much easier, the caregivers' lives, and we know caregivers, they're sometimes overwhelmed.
For sure. What was your favorite part about your adult day center?
My favorite part is just being with the people.
Yeah.
You learn so much about them. They almost become like a second family to you, and learning their experiences. So when I worked in therapy, it was all about productivity and, worrying about, so you only have this amount of time to be with somebody. And being in the adult day, it was like I could sit down and have a conversation with somebody and not worry about, okay, my next patient, I got to get them done. So it's just such a rewarding experience, and you learn a lot.
Yeah.
Our aging population has so much to offer. If you just sit down and take the time to learn, they're willing to do it. That
was my favorite part, was like when we had our assisted living facility, and we lived there, I would eat my lunch with everyone, and just like sitting down, interacting with them, making them laugh or learning from them. It was just like some of my favorite memories, So when you think about because now you're doing consulting. So you had the adult day center. Do you guys still have the adult day center?
So my partner has taken over, and I am doing
focusing on the consulting side.
Focusing on the consulting side.
That's it.
Not the tongue.
That's all good. We can cut it. We can cut it out. Yeah. Or leave it and make it. It'll be a good laugh. You know.
There you go.
Like we all gotta laugh at ourselves a little bit, right?
Always.
Yeah. So I laugh at myself all the time.
I do.
Dre laughs. He laughs hard. He laughs at me as well.
Right.
No, but when it comes to like the consulting side of things, so now you're helping other business owners open their own businesses. What do you think, like when you think about people that are coming to you, what do you find to be their number one struggle when you're first speaking with them?
Some of the first things are they don't even know how much their Medicaid system reimburses,
right.
And they have a difficult time finding that information. And also finding the information about what their state requirements are for adult day.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I try to help and navigate for them.
And the reason why we're looking at the Medicaid reimbursement side is if someone's going that route, if reimbursement rates are low, then it may not be a viable model to go with Medicaid, right?
Correct.
So you're kind of assessing, are we going Medicaid? Are we Medicaid focused or private pay focused? Or,
right.
Yeah,
and if somebody is Medicaid focused, I really stress to them to do their business plan to make sure that reimbursement is going to sustain their business.
Yeah.
And if not, a private pay is also a method for people that that may be another option for them, or both together.
Sure. And when you think about so now, that person's coming to you kind of like, oh, okay, let me go look at my market. Oh, let me see if I'm licensed. Like, what are typically like next steps that you try to like guide them through?
So usually I try to put together a checklist for them.
Yeah.
So I talk about, if they haven't registered their business yet.
Right.
Do they have a tax ID number? Do they, have an NPI number? Do they have a location? What's the requirements? Some of the states require a certain amount of commodes. They require showers, maybe a sprinkler system, and it could be state requirement. It could be a county or city specific requirement. So you have to be aware of all of that information. What
kind of budgets people have? Are people coming to you do they have any idea of what something like this might cost? And I know the cost of opening one varies greatly, depending on a lot of factors. But just in general, have you found that are they underestimating or overestimating the cost of opening something like this? Or
I would love for people to always overestimate, because then they'll be happy, right? A lot of times I think people underestimate the cost, because they know what it's going to cost for their electric. They'll find that information out, but sometimes where they're opening and getting that accreditation to where they actually get the participants in and they see that revenue, it could be honestly a couple years before they're actually profitable.
Right. So is that something that is that something that you would kind of help build a plan with them around that?
I would.
Depending on their needs, I'm assuming, or.
Absolutely, because some people, if it's a husband and wife and this is their only income, is this really the best choice? And sometimes I love people's drive for wanting to be an entrepreneur, but we know that the percentages of businesses that fail. So I would never want to see anybody set up for failure.
Yeah.
So that that would be something that I would really work with them to understand what these costs are going to be, because we want them to be successful.
Right. Now I was just curious, on our first center, our all-in cost of between construction, getting it up and running and all that stuff, we were $175.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on a building we purchased, so we were able to get a construction loan. But I was definitely I was over budget by 2x what I thought it would be.
Right.
So I remember and then now we joke just 2x everything.
Right.
Whatever your expenses are whatever you think they're gonna be, just times it by 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
What do you think as an industry, with adult day, what is maybe the headwinds we might be facing, or what are some of the problems you think adult day faces into the future that may be holding it back?
I'm optimistic for the future of adult day. And I guess I'll start with some of the things that I think that hold it back is people are just not aware of the services.
Yeah.
And so, and it's so different throughout the country of getting that information out. I think that is as people become more aware of Adult Day and its benefits, it's going to grow, because they all talk about home-based services and aging in place. Well, you want to make sure people are aging in the right place.
Right.
And I think Adult Day adds that piece that they can age at home and have that component of the Adult Day that allows them to stay at home longer.
Yeah.
I've met many people over the years that have said, oh, I wish I would have known about Adult Day. I would have been able to keep my mom home longer, or that would have been such a relief for my dad and had given him a break. So there's just so many benefits to Adult Day, and I think it's going to grow again as people learn all these benefits.
The awareness part. So how do we make people aware? What do we do?
I think you're doing an amazing job.
Well, I'm trying.
You are.
I'm
You're
trying.
doing the stuff that you put out on your videos is important, but as providers of Adult Day services, we really need to make sure our community is aware of that. And like I talked about in my presentation yesterday, of trying to build those community relationships and be a resource for your community.
Yeah, I feel like we need like ADC rock shirts or something, like just
Yeah.
like shirts and hats and gear, and like get everyone out there like rocking ADC,
Yes,
So,
yes.
well, when you think about someone coming to you, what is it that you can help them with? If they're looking to start an Adult Day Center, how could you help them?
So I actually, because I think I'm one of the few consultants that have started this process from the ground up. I've worked with everything from the manual, the inspections, purchasing vehicles, contracting for transportation, foods, or all of that. I've done the credentialing, the licensure. I've been through every step of this process that somebody else is going to be able to go through, and so I'd like to share my experiences with them, so that maybe there's things that I'm aware of that will save them from making a mistake that's costing them more time or a delay in opening their center. Policies and procedures, that's one of my favorite things to do, and most people don't like to do those.
I was like, when you said, that's your favorite thing to do.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
Christina, you're definitely gonna help us out. So
I enjoy that, and I can help people with just a template of policies and procedures to a customized manual.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole gambit of services, and then even after they're open, like follow up with compliance or site inspections, mocks. I could do a mock survey, chart audits, HR, file reviews. There's all those things that I have done from being my own owner of a business and understanding all of those things. So, not only do I bring the aspect of managing an Adult Day, but I also bring a business component that sometimes as clinicians we don't always have.
Which I love. That's fantastic. And honestly, that's why I wanted to talk to you today, because to me, we get a lot of questions through our ADC Pro group, and people ask me questions a lot, but we're not designed to set up to do consulting services, so we do a lot of free information. But when someone needs additional help, or they really need someone to kind of guide them through the process, and to be able to have someone like yourself that I can share with them, I think is huge. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you go to, what is it, ADC or ADS?
ADSconsult.biz.
ADSconsult.biz. So anyone that's asked me, hey, do you do consulting? I don't, but Christina does. So we have a resource for you. And she's super sweet, and she has done a great job presenting yesterday and just sharing all that information. And it's so much of the stuff that we share too, but having the ability to go to someone that can walk you through those steps, that can actually talk to you on the phone, and you can ask questions, and you can navigate that next step is so important. So don't do it alone.
Yes,
thank
you. I appreciate that.
And there's people that can help you. So Christina, I appreciate you sharing your journey, and then I love just your heart and your energy and the effort that you're putting into the Adult Day space. And I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for Adult Day, and I think you're going to have a big impact on Adult Day. So
well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I say the same things right back to you. You've done an amazing job getting out there of what Adult Day is.
That's right, and you guys got to get out there and tell everyone too. Everyone needs to know about Adult Day. Tell them that they need to go check out their local Adult Day centers. They need to tell their friends and families and make it known, so the world can actually receive the benefits of Adult Day. So
absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Christina. I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks. You know what to do. Peace. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to learn how to open your own adult daycare center, go to adcpro.com. If you'd like the latest business tips, click here, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Click here. We'll see you guys next time.